Fit for Life Radio, episode number 156. I'm your co-host Gary.
And I'm Will.
And today we're going to be talking about, just chopping it up really,
Yeah.
about one of the biggest challenges for most people is that they know what to do. We know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't do it.
I would say like 9 out of 10 new people that come to our gym tell me that. Like, well, I know what to do, I just don't do it.
Yeah.
And like I think that's where most people are. Most people have a good idea of the information and that you should try to eat whole foods for most of your meals and you shouldn't have, nothing but processed food in your diet. Like people know those things, but the execution is like where they just fall off. Like they just don't do it.
And it comes down to, at its core, it's just little micro decisions each day that we have to make. And the reason we don't want to do it is because most of these decisions come down to not choosing the easiest and most comfortable option.
Yeah, it's comfort and what feels good, Like why would you want to do make the choice that makes you not feel good in the moment? And that's where most people end up. And then, those micro decisions, think about all of the decisions you have to make in a day. If all of them are based around comfort,
in short
you're not
term,
going to make any change.
Yeah. And all this stuff, we're talking about, our body composition, our health. These are delayed gratification type decisions, right? So when you go to make them in the moment, they're never going to be the fun, easy decision.
Yeah. And like those results, our body composition, our health, they're all a sum of all of those little micro decisions you have to make over a very long period of time. Like you're not going to make one little decision. You're not going to say, you know what, I'm going to have, eggs and fruit for breakfast, and all of a sudden you're healthy and you lost weight and all this stuff. But you have to do that repeatedly.
Yeah. Initially without seeing any
with
benefit.
No real benefit to it, knowing like this outcome is this is going to help me with my outcome. Yeah. And it can be hard to do that, and I know like there's a lot of talk around like willpower and you shouldn't have to rely on willpower. But to be honest, when you first start changing habits, it does require more effort. And you do mentally have to be a little bit tougher to kind of, push through a little bit of change.
Yeah.
Like there's always going to be that. And if you aren't willing to do that and be uncomfortable, then like change just can't happen.
And let's look at, some kind of scenarios, right? And it looks different for everyone. Because say we're struggling to lose weight, we know we need to eat less calories, right? So an easy first step, one simple habit is eliminate mindless snacking, right? What is mindless snacking? It's when we're just eating while doing other things and out of boredom. It's not like we need that fuel to do anything, and it's contributing to actually too many calories, right? More than we need. So we would have to, in theory, we would want to cut that out. Well, what does that mean? That means maybe you're someone who can manage well, but you have to portion, right? So you could have some Fritos in your house, but now you need to make the decision of like, I'm going to have a quarter cup.
Yeah.
Right.
Pour out like a little tiny bowl or a handful.
So you have to make the decision to have a mindful portion. But then maybe the reality is like, you can't do that. The bag's still there.
You're going to eat the whole bag.
Well, then you have to make a micro decision at the grocery store. I'm going to skip this bag of Fritos.
So I don't eat the whole thing tomorrow.
Exactly. So it's as simple as that, right? And that comes down to we know what to do, we just don't do it, right? Everyone knows that in that scenario, but we don't do it. Why don't we do it? Because it's not the easy decision.
Yeah.
So
and eating Fritos feels better than not eating Fritos in the moment. So
another one, we know we need to be more active. Perfect example. Yesterday I thought, it's getting cold down, and it's easy to want to stay inside. The heater's on. When you step outside, it's going to be cold. You got to brace yourself. But I have a dog, right? And I know, well, technically, it's my responsibility to take him for a walk, right? It's good for his health. And now normally I would just stay inside, right? Or, let me just sit on this couch. Dinner's coming up.
Yeah.
All this comforting stuff. But it's like, no, I need to go do this as a responsibility, right? and I have that tied to it. So then I end up going for a walk, which is great. If you notice, we really just need to tie these like deep whys and reasons to these choices that don't have instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And we do it all the time. You're not incapable of doing it. We do it with our job. We think about it.
Yeah, do you want to show up to work every day?
People get up 300 plus days, almost a year,
Yeah.
and go to this place that maybe you don't always want to go to or ever want to go to, depending on what your job is. But you do it because you know, hey, this will give me a paycheck. This will give me money. I can buy food. I can pay rent. I can have shelter over my head. So we tie these reasons and whys that then make us follow through with the action that we need to do. Hey, I need to show up on time at this place.
Yeah. And think like most people with their job don't go, you know what, like, I don't need this money today. Like, I'm good. I don't need to go to work, right? Because they know, well, if I don't go to work today, like, I might lose my job if I do that too many times, or I'm going to make less money over the long run. So we just don't do it. Yeah. And we never really think about it.
And again, then you have a kid, right? Well, now, especially when it's little, it's like if you don't get up and feed it, if you don't go do these things, it can't do anything for itself. Mm-hmm. So you do it because it's important, because you have these delayed gratification and this responsibility.
Yeah, like you want to raise a healthy kid and you want him to be successful, so like you do the things that are hard.
And I think that then shows where most people are at, right? Isn't it crazy? We have trouble, because we definitely can. Mm-hmm. We have trouble doing things that benefit ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Because we can do it for other people. We can do it. People can do it for their kids.
And most people do. Most people do take care of other people well and neglect themselves in the process.
But when it comes to our own health, we normally choose the easy, comforting decision, right? So now, where do we go from there, right? We know what to do. We just don't do it. You have to start tying reasons, right? Now, we're lucky. We're fitness professionals, right? So it's tied into our profession.
Yeah, like I have to do this for my job. If I don't do it, like, it's...
Now, don't get me wrong. There's fitness professionals that don't practice what they preach, right? But ultimately, when you have that kind of leverage of like, hey, I want to practice what I preach.
You have to, and it makes it easier.
It makes it easier, right? So totally get it, I have that advantage. Whereas other people, you're going to have to create, leverage these other things, right? But it could be, so most of our clients, a lot of times, it's, hey, I want to be around for my grandkids or my kids. I want to, unfortunately, a common thing, women do much better job, right? Because, whether it's, because they value their appearance more, or how they look and feel. Normally men, they won't start making changes until something drastic happens.
Like they have a heart attack, or their dad has a heart attack or something.
Uncle.
And they're like, I got to get my act together, or this is like that could be it.
Mm-hmm. They go to the doctor, and it's like all their blood work's horrible, pre-diabetic. Then it's like, okay.
Yeah, they're basically like, the sirens are going off, and that's what it takes for a lot of guys, especially like older guys in their, we'll say 50s-ish, maybe even 40s. Like that's what it takes.
Yeah, more often mid-40s. I mean, you're seeing pre-diabetic heart disease.
I mean, it's happening earlier and earlier. It's going to be 30s probably in, 5-10 years.
Yeah. So, you have to find that way to leverage something that means something to you.
Yeah.
Down, long term, that your health benefits, that you being physically capable, mentally capable, you create that value and leverage. It makes it easier now to make that decision in this moment that really has no instant gratification.
None.
Other
than feeling like, hey, you know what, I did a good thing for myself in the moment.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like, you're not going to feel a whole lot from it.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, after dinner, you grab a 150-calorie bowl of frozen cherries, or you grab a 700-calorie slice of cheesecake, right? In that moment, that cheesecake's going to taste better. It's going to be more satisfying.
And it's going to feel great.
It's gonna be this heightened experience.
But then it goes away.
But now you just contributed a lot more calories that you probably didn't need.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do that over and over. Now we're gaining weight. Well, what's connected with weight gain? Lots of health consequences are, the likelihood.
Physical health, mental health, all of it.
Wow, now all of a sudden we were, and now with that instant gratification of the cheesecake bites, what in that moment is past. It's all in the past.
Yep.
Now you're having to deal with the long-term
consequences.
consequences, right? So thinking about that enough, that's why we don't, do crystal meth.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're like, well, I want to hold my teeth.
Yeah, and I don't want to be an addict, and I don't want to be, lose all my money. Like, that makes sense.
So you don't start, right?
Yeah.
Even whatever little high you would get in that moment, you say, you know what, I'm not even gonna
dabble.
Not even gonna go there.
Yeah, and I think we need to start doing that with our health more. And something good though, something that does make it easier is as you make those decisions, they become easier to make. As you say, like, no to the cheesecake and yes to the cherries, like, you're more likely to do that more often because it's not as hard of a question for you to answer, because generally you will start to feel a little better over time if, things are improving, your blood markers are improving. You'll feel just better, and it's so much easier to make that choice when you know how you feel because of it.
Yeah, and you'll start to have sooner than later, biometrics that you notice.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
if you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop, mixed in water, once a day, and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out. If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's one scoop, mixed in water, once a day, and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. My mood is more stable.
Yeah.
For me, those are the things that make it easy to kind of pick the more whole foods that, aren't going to be as, tasty as other concoctions. But right off the bat on a daily basis, sleep, energy,
mood.
Those things are better when I eat the foods I know I feel best with, right? And that I weigh that more than the enjoyment from all my meals.
Yeah.
It's nice every now and then to go have, some super, foodie meal and concoction, or whatever, or standard stuff like pizza, ice cream. But those things don't give me that
The
sleep,
same
that
satisfaction.
food. So I enjoy my boring meals because you appreciate them, come to appreciate them over time, and in the moment, really, because it is sustenance, it is food, but also because I've weighed them higher now. I get the same dopamine hit because I know how they're going to make me feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's like that gets retrained too. Like you start to get a lot of enjoyment and pleasure from like doing the things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you are retraining that.
And then another layer to this is we do know what to do, but there's still lots of details and nuance, and it's difficult, right?
Yeah.
Because we saw something recently on Instagram or something where, okay, say you're like, you know what, I'm going to eat better, right? Typically meaning I'm going to cut out, these mindless calories and extra calories, get to a place where that supports your goals, your body weight. And you could say, okay, cool, I'm going to look at labels, food labels.
Let's look
right?
at them.
Well, we saw, what is it? It wasn't, what's that cookie place?
Crumble.
So it was a crumble cookie.
Crumble's overrated.
I've
Anyways.
never had one. So I've had a cookie, not a crumble.
It's like you know how things get so hyped up that
Mhm.
like the hype surrounding them is almost more excited than the actual thing.
Mhm.
It's like Chick-fil-A. Like Chick-fil-A's not bad, but damn, do people hype it up to be way more than it
I know,
really
right?
is.
It's a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, like it's good. It's not like it's bad food.
Yeah.
But I'm not waiting 45 minutes in line, though they do have like the most efficient drive-through process of all time. However, I do think crumble cookies just not as good as they think it is, and half the time they're not even cookies. If
Yeah.
we're being real.
So, anyways, someone was saying, hey, they originally looked at the label of the crumble cookie, nutrition facts, and it said that it was what
It
did
was
say? Like
160 calories.
160 calories, and you're thinking, and these cookies are like big
They're pretty. Yeah, they're a good-sized cookie.
and like elaborate a lot of times, but this was a basic one. But
this
anyways,
was chocolate chip.
so
we're
you
looking
could
at.
think, yeah, cookie 160 calories, but then there's a little asterisk.
Always look for the asterisk.
Mhm. That asterisk.
That asterisk.
Oh, it's never a big fat asterisk. either.
Nah, it's that little asterisk.
So, that little asterisk.
Mm.
You got to watch out. So the asterisk. So then you go see what the asterisk has to say.
Which you got to go find it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like they hide it, so they're trying to be a little bit misleading.
Mm-hmm.
By putting that asterisk. You got to go on a friggin' treasure hunt to figure this out.
What did the asterisk say?
It said, like basically the serving size was a quarter of a cookie.
Mm-hmm. So then now one cookie
quarter of a cookie
is basically over 600 calories.
Yeah, it's 640 calories for one single cookie.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest with ourselves. If someone's getting a 12-packer of crumble cookies, they're not only eating one.
Yeah. So here's where, like, for example, and this happens with clients when we see and they're tracking, so they're making an effort. We're trying to, hey, we know what to do. We just don't do it. But now we're doing it, right?
Yep.
So hey, look, a lot of people would glance at that and now they're plugging in that maybe they had 3 cookies,
Yeah.
right? But then they're plugging it in 3
And it comes
cookies.
out to, 480 calories.
Yeah,
And they're like, oh, I'm good.
But then they're like, man, I'm still not losing weight, right? Or I'm not, Then we go and notice things like this. Oh, here's that. No, so instead of actually having 3 cookies for 450 calories,
I mean, that's got to be 2,000 calories.
yeah, you're having 160 times 12, right? So easily over 1,000, 1,500, 16.
So it'd be 640 a cookie.
Yeah, 612. So 1,800. Yeah, almost 2,000
Yeah.
calories. Cool. But you're doing the work. Don't beat yourself up. You now took this extra step because even though your environment is working against you here,
Mhm. You're still trying.
they're trying to hide it and make it seem better than it is. The reality is you were eating way more than you realized. But
Yeah.
now you know and you adjust down. And you may even realize, well, now you only get to have 1 cookie. I'm not even going to bring these things in the
Yeah,
house.
like it's not even worth it to do if I can only have one of
Or
these.
I'm not going to go to Crumble and buy a case of cookies. I'm just going to get a cookie.
A single one,
Yeah.
which could be good. And you know what? If you're the type of person that can eat a quarter of a cookie, more power to you.
Mhm.
Like it's like the Frito analogy. If you can eat a quarter cup of Fritos, you're good. But if you know you're gonna crush the whole thing, like it's
Yeah.
not worth it. Side note, do you eat portions of things like cookies or donuts? Like, will you cut off a quarter of one and just leave it?
No.
Okay, good. Would Alexis do that?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Whitney does that.
But she likes to have them like every day, right? So if I had it every day, I would.
Well, even if like you don't have it every day, like we have donuts at a special thing at her parents' house.
No.
But all of them do it.
The serial
I
killer.
feel like I'm the serial killer because I'm the only one who doesn't do it. But
I mean, and in reality, for example, the one that always tripped me up, a bagel.
yeah,
A bagel, the full serving is half a bagel.
yeah. That doesn't make sense. A whole serving is half a bagel.
Mm-hmm. So a full bagel is 2 servings.
It's bullshit. It's one thing.
Yeah, but and it's it's like 600 calories.
Yeah,
for a
like
whole bagel.
like a good official bagel is like 500-600
Yeah.
calories. That's
So,
misleading. man.
and this is where, it gets hard in the nitty gritty, right? But these are the little decisions, right? Oh, do you want to have cookies every day? Like you're probably gonna have to portion them, assuming most of your calories come from majority whole unprocessed foods. Your protein, your fruits, your veggies. Most people can have a little wiggle room, like depending on their size and goal, but like 200 to 500 calories a day of maybe more fun calories.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to, again, make little decisions, right? It could be, you could say you have 300 calories. Cool, I'm going to have half of a crumble cookie. Or you may want 3-4 cups of popcorn,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those are the little decisions you have to make. But the point is, we are making those decisions versus where we just eat whatever we want, whenever we want, however much we want.
Yeah. And I think it's important to kind of lean into not being comfortable all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like make a decision that doesn't make you completely comfortable.
Yeah.
And like you start to almost get like a good feeling
Mm-hmm.
of like, yeah, I did something uncomfortable, and you feel good about
Yeah.
the fact that you're moving the bar.
Yeah, you're setting these guardrails. And the
Yeah.
reality is, typically, on this planet, you're going to be in 2 camps. Both of them are going to lead to different types of discomfort. One is you are basically in like a country like the United States and doing well to where you have kind of access to unlimited calories. Our food environment, they're cheap, they're everywhere. If you have a car, you can drive anywhere, you can walk to places. And the reality is that there is an abundant amount of calories available. So you're at some point going to have to say no to stuff, right? The flip is you live in a place, or you're unfortunate in a country like America, and you do not have many resources, and you literally
You have to say yes to everything.
do not have enough calories.
Yeah.
So it's easier in that you get to say yes to everything, but even saying yes to everything, you don't have enough.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, starving, not having enough all the time is going to be very discomforting.
Yeah.
On the flip side, having enough all the time is not necessarily as discomforting initially, but then the effects that we have to deal with becomes very discomforting down the line. So in the environment that most people that are listening to a podcast are fortunate to be part of, you're going to have to say no to things. You're going to have that discomfort. You're going to have to get used to creating that. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with the physical. Some people still do live in an environment where, hey, you want to eat, you want to have shelter, you got to go move, work, pick up, grind. It literally.
It's what they have to do day to day.
Yeah, you can't do it without any physical effort.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us can sit in our room, basically never leave it,
Do our job from the same spot.
order any cuisine you could ever dream of.
You have to walk to the front door to get it.
Have it delivered to your house, right? So
you never have to go outside.
yeah,
You have your
to eat.
groceries delivered. You can have everything brought to you. And all you have to do is go from your bed to the front door, and that's basically it.
And that's not good. So what do? We create gyms.
Yeah.
Like places where we purposely go and carve out time to purposely do physical stuff. And guess what? Picking things up, moving our body from point A to point B is discomforting.
Yeah.
You're choosing discomfort. It used to be we never chose discomfort. We chose we want to eat, we want shelter.
Yeah, I want to live.
And then the physical discomfort was just part of that process. Now it's not part of the process.
Now we have to almost like create discomfort because there is none.
Yeah.
You know, and our decisions are not guided by that at all.
Mm-hmm. And that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And we're fortunate to have to do that.
Yeah, like we're in a spot where it's like, let's make life a little bit harder so we make the right choices.
Yeah.
Because without that, like, we're not going to make the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I think people are used to it. They understand it with the physical stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I got to go to the
It's
gym.
a little easier to wrap your mind around that.
But people now, and more we've learned about eating and food and all that, it's like, and there's more, you know, extreme stuff that can be wrapped up in it. So
Yeah.
it's discomforting for people. Like, oh, someone could be overweight, but you tell them to eat less. And then it's like this slippery slope of like, that's an eating disorder, right? Which it can become an eating
For
disorder.
sure.
But at the same time, it's like, well, eating too much is technically an eating disorder too.
Yeah, it's just the other end.
Because it causes negative stuff just as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not viewed in that same light. But yeah, we have to create, it's going to be discomforting, right? So
Yeah.
again, we come back to, I know what to do, I just don't do it. Guess what? That's completely normal and makes complete sense because we are wired towards comfort.
Yeah.
And saying that statement typically means we're just choosing comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to step back, tell our brain why we need to choose discomfort, find these reasons, and that will give us a fighting chance.
Yeah. It gives you just like a reason. You could say like, oh, I'm making this choice so that, you know, I don't have a heart attack when I'm 55,
Yeah.
you know, or I want to play with my kids or my grandkids when they're older. And you start to tie things to those more important whys, and it makes it a little bit easier to deal with.
And the great thing is, especially initially, you need to kind of will yourself in that way. Like, I have these reasons, I have these whys. But then, like we said, as you get going, you are going to start to feel better.
It's easier.
You are going to have less pain. You are going to move better. You are going to be more physically capable. You are going to sleep better. You are going to have more mental clarity. Then when you start feeling these things and tying them to these now discomforting decisions you're making,
Yeah.
they become easier, and you actually start to get short-term reward from them in a way, because you're going to get little dopamine hits for making these decisions that you've kind of created and rewired.
And that you know in your mind do a positive thing for you. So it's almost this loop of like, I tell myself this is good for me, and you do it, and it is good for you, and your brain's like, we like that.
Yeah.
And that is very powerful for creating habits.
Mm-hmm. And then you almost create a different little world for yourself, right? Like I think about now and how I went to. So you choose these foods, you feel those benefits, you start to get them, and then you know that it's going to help these long-term whys. So you end up creating this little world within those choices, right? I went to Target the other day and was picking up some frozen fruit. Or I went there for something else. It was like, oh, we need strawberries. I've never really messed around in their grocery section and stuff. And their frozen fruit, dude, it's all like they got a lot of options.
Do they?
And selections,
I've never
right?
gotten really any
then,
food
like,
there.
The price is good for frozen fruit. So I got all excited seeing all these like combinations, right? They had like a summer fruit bag. You know, there was like sliced peaches and strawberries and some other stuff. And then they had like this berry and cherry mix, and not just blueberries, wild blueberries, right? And this sounds crazy, but I was so excited. You could have thought
you were pumped up.
You could have thought I was on the ice cream aisle, looking at cookies and cream and Snickerdoodle ice cream, right? Well, I was so excited, looking for these different little options of frozen fruit. You know what I'm saying?
It hits right though.
Yeah. If you at some point you could have told me that, I would have said that's dumb.
Yeah. Like, hey, I only get pumped up for ice cream, whatever I'm gonna eat for the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do that.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta check out their frozen fruit now.
I'm telling you, man. The bags, you know, sometimes some good labeling, good bag.
Makes you
Good
feel right.
Good
yeah.
art, good artwork.
Oof.
The colors.
The satisfaction
Yeah.
with that is just shouldn't be so good, but it is. I'm sure we all just like don't buy stuff that's labeled weird.
Yeah. Or you buy something because it had a cool label.
Yeah. We're all misled by that. Well, not misled, but led by those kinds of things.
But look out for them asterisks.
Please look out for that. They're always a small asterisk, not a big one.
Dressed real nice. Dressed up in a nice package.
Stop.
Oh man, I think yeah, but that's some insight.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps, since most people are sitting out there like, man, I know what to do.
Yeah.
I just don't do it.
I think that's where the majority of people are. And I'm sure there's some people that are like, hey, I have no clue what to do. And that's fine too. Like, we have plenty of episodes on that, but I think most people are in the realm of like, I kind of have an idea, I just don't do it.
Yeah.
So I think at a base level, do something that's slightly uncomfortable every day.
Yeah.
And it could just be making that decision. It could be, in your case, like going outside and walking the dog in the cold because you really don't want to be cold. Like, those make more of a difference than we think they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you might think of it so short term, but they do add up a lot, and it all leads to us being better at asking those questions too, or being uncomfortable. Like when a harder decision comes up, you're gonna be better at making that correct decision because you've practiced that over time. So it is important, I think, to be able to be uncomfortable and make the correct decision for yourself.
Yeah. And if you need help with what these correct decisions are and just little layers of support and accountability, you can join us in our Facebook group. It's free, Fat Loss Secrets for Busy Adults. You can like search that, or there's a link in the show notes. Yeah, hit us up in there.
It's a good group. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah,
Facebook Lives, a lot of information, and just general help. If you have questions, we can help you out.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you for listening this week.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.